Hey guys, Jeremy here from School of What Covent Garden. This is our new series of Saturday specials, and because you guys asked, I'm going to show you some basic knife skills. Now, Chinese food and Asian food, I always say, is 90% preparation, 10% cooking. And 90% of the 90% of preparation is all about how good you are with your knife. During this series, I'm going to show you how to use your knife correctly and most importantly, safely. And then how to chop your vegetables the right way, fillet your fish the right way, and slice meat really nice and thinly. In the last episode of the Knife Skills series, and I'm going to show you how to fillet a fish with a cleaver. And the way to do this is quite rough and ready. It's just sort of at an angle, go in with your knife. And I've broken a few bones there, but we can get those out later. And you just long sawing motions, but you have to be quite firm with this. And you can see that I'm pushing down with the palm of my hand whilst going into the fish and down the spine. And just keep it horizontal along the edge of this fish until you get to the end. And then you've got your whole fillet out in one go. So long sawing motions and sort of holding it flat using your palm. Then from here on in, it's pretty easy. Now you could get your tweezers and try and pick out every single bone in the fish fillet, but I'm going to do it quick stir fry with this, so I don't need to worry about it being sort of kept in one piece. The first things first is the belly bone here. So you've got a few, sort of 5 or 6 bones from that sort of rib cage, I guess, that you're just going to run your knife underneath. Once you've made a cut into the sort of edge or the angle of the bone, then we're going to sort of remember that roll cutting mechanism that I taught you guys with on the meat knife skills. And that is that I started at an angle, but I'm going to sort of just edge it towards me, and in sort of long motions again, just pull out those bones. And you can use this long sort of stroking mechanism with your knife. If you feel any bones at all, then again, just long sawing motions, absolutely essential, especially with fish. Now, the next part of the bones that you'll see or you'll feel is if you run your hands or your fingertips along the spine or the middle of that fillet. And that bit there you can take out with a crisscross. So I can feel that bones start from here and then run all the way down to about the middle of that fillet. So actually the best way to work out where that starts and ends. It starts and ends there. So I'm going to go for a V shape. So just slice into it in a V. And then on the other side, slice towards the inside. You can see I'm using my fingertips to feel where all the bones are, and then I can just start to pull those out in one go. So it's actually pretty simple, but the most important thing is my motion is always a stroking rather than short, sharp teeth. Same principle as slicing into meat. Now that fillet of fish it's been fully deboned and I can slice into it. Now the fish has already been descaled, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tail end off and keep it as is. Keeping the skin on keeps it nice and tacked, especially when I'm stir frying. And then the rest of the pieces just in nice chunks like so. Dealing with fish should be quick and simple. If you over touch your fish or anything like that, you know, it just gets a little bit sticky and icky. So the idea with it is just be as sort of confident and quick as you can, and just nice, simple strokes through with the knife. I'm going to season this fish up very simply with a little bit of sesame oil and some corn flour, but just enough corn flour to give it a slight sort of creaminess around the outside of the pieces. A teaspoon will do. Now I'm going to go straight into the cooking, and I've got some nice finely sliced ginger and some chunks of spring onion here. I'm going to keep it very simple, a ginger and spring onion stir-fried fish, and show you how simple it is, but there's a technique to this, and that is really flash frying. So the wok needs to be really super hot before I add my fish to it. So we're going to sear your ginger and spring onion chunks first. Got a little bit of chilli here as well, if you wish. I'll use that at the end. And then brush that to the edge of your wok quite quickly on. There's enough oil in there, but I'm just going to put a drizzle more. Now at this point, I want my wok to be really, really smoking hot, because I want to sear the fish, but I don't want it to break apart. And then you're going to carefully lay your fish into the wok. And let it sit in the wok. Bring your ginger and spring onion over the top, and whilst that's sort of searing nicely in the wok, I'm going to start to layer my sauces in. So I've got a couple of spoons of oyster sauce. Light soy sauce will hit that wok quite quickly, so about a tablespoon of light soy sauce. Just go underneath your fish with your spatula at this point, so that you can turn that over nice and easily. So you can see here that my pieces of fish are still keeping together nicely. I'm not moving it too much, because I want them to stick together as individual pieces. At this point, if you want to cook your chili through a little, you can put some chili into it, and then one or two flicks through. Bring that to a really, really good smoking temperature, and then pour your rice wine in. Smoking hot, rice wine in. Oh, I can smell that hitting the bottom of the pan straight away. You can see here that the spatula I'm sitting my spatula underneath the fish rather than pressing into it too much. So I don't want to break up the fillet. Bring that to a vigorous boil, and then add a little bit of chicken stock to finish it off. Really simple cooking, but with key technique. That chicken stock will just sort of lighten up this stir fry a little. And you can see, because of that really high heat, even with this sort of sticky sauce and the corn flour around the fish, I've got no sticking on the wok at all. I create a lot of smoke though. Finely sliced spring onion over the top. Quick way to fillet your fish and make up that stir fry. A lot of people struggle to keep the pieces intact, and that is all about not moving it too much. Such a simple dish. It's nice and flaky, but it's still got that meatiness to it. If you know how to fillet your fish, clean your fish the right way, and cook it up as quickly as that, it will always taste good. Don't forget guys, if you like this type of video and you'd like to learn more about Asian cooking, subscribe to our channel and like everything you could possibly find about School of Wok.